What's going on, everybody? The Pest Patrol. Oh wait, that's not to turn it down. There we go. Now we can turn it down. Pest Patrol here with the new digs. I'm your host Chris, and with the other host joining me via the TV, it is Dr. Professor Mike, bug expert here, and we're going to talk about all your favorite bugs today. So now, without wasting any time, let's get into our bug of the week. And to reveal the bug of the week, we got a nice little video prepared. So let's see it. The bug of the week. What kind of bug is that, Mike?
That looks like a praying mantis to me, I think.
Yeah, that's a praying mantis right there. That and that's some crazy jump. Look at those legs.
Oh, look at that. Going everywhere, eh?
They just spread. Dude, the full starfish, man.
Jeez, look at that.
And proportionately, that's like me going and jumping 15 feet, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's
That ain't no small task for that, man.
No. These things are nuts. Alright. Now, there are many different types of mantises. And we're only going to talk about a few types of mantises today, because we would spend hours talking about this stuff.
I don't got that much time, you know?
No. So, Mike, what is our first mantis?
The first one is called the devil's mantis. Devil's flowers mantis, sorry. Devil's flowers mantis. And it's actually one of the ones you can keep as a pet. It's pretty menacing looking, I won't lie. It's most notably found in Tanzania. It's also found all over Africa. But it's a beautiful looking mantis. It's pretty large, I won't lie. It's gorgeous. It's about 10 centimeters in length. It's as you can see, it has like a back to it, a nice looking shaped back, and that's to fight off predators. It wants to try to pretend that it's a dead leaf. It's a leaf on the ground. But to feed off the predators, as it opens up its arms, sadly we don't have a photo of that, I can find one, but it opens up its arms, it's actually bright colored. It has green, red, and blue all over its chest and all over its inner arms. So when it's frightened, it will open up and scare off the predators, you know?
Man, that's the devil's. That's the devil's flower right there, or the devil mantis. Right. That's a spooky looking thing, and you're saying so people keep these as pets. Yeah,
so it's actually very important to keep these as at a certain temperature. I think it's 90 degrees Fahrenheit is what they want to be at. Anything lower than that or anything higher than that, their lifespan will shorten. So they won't have a full lifespan, which only lasts about a year.
Yeah,
it isn't a very long lifespan, but still, it's one of those ones where if you were trying to keep one as a pet, you want to make sure that they're happy and healthy, so you need to keep it around 90 degrees Fahrenheit.
So what are you using, like one of those light bulbs then, I guess, over the tank?
Yeah, one of those fluorescent light bulbs, yeah. And then keeping it within the tank, you're supposed to do 3 times the size of the mantis itself. So it's not a very big tank, like I said, they're only about 10 centimeters in length. Yeah. Males and females are about the same size, but all the difference is the males are much more slender body. They usually have a feathered antenna instead of just antennae.
Now, so these are, I mean, this is a predator, the mantis, right? So what are you doing, like if you're keeping it as a pet, what are you doing it to simulate, do you know, like, did you look at any feeding stuff?
Yeah, so actually this mantis doesn't like to feed on dead animals. It actually, it's a live feeder. You can't be feeding it dead sorts of fries. And what they like to eat is actually fruit fries, bottle flies, moths, anything that really flies, anything like mosquitoes, flying small insects. Mantis will stalk it and chow down on it. They're not a chaser. They'll wait for it to fly by, and then that's when they pounce.
Yeah, I was reading. I found in the research, I found this website on spiritual meaning of symbolism of animals and stuff, and it was very like hippy dippy. But it talked about that waiting, like the hunt being this like spiritual endeavor that the mantis takes on, and it's all about the waiting game and stillness and peace and like pretending to be a leaf or a, you know, all these things. And it brings, so when you see a praying mantis, right, it brings the magic of evolution, hypnotism, and spiritual perception. So if you see one of these, and the website says now, like every animal on this website, you can find pretty much every animal, and they tell you, oh, you see this animal and you get blessed this way, right? So there's magic, right? To the and then there's a quiz. You click on, or it shows you a bunch of doors, and they're all just colorful doors, and then each one's numbered, and you pick what door you do. or door you
Yeah.
pick to go through, and then it tells you what your spirit animal is. I didn't take the quiz. I didn't. But this is these are the kind of spiritual scholars that are putting
Yeah.
out this information, and so there's all this. But they said even though all these animals have spiritual connections or like
Yeah.
spiritual meaning, the mantis is like a rare Pokemon. You know, it's like they're so rare that
Good
you
analogy.
find one. It's that's extra special. Like it's charged with the extra magic. You know,
Yeah.
and some of that magic I'll get into later when I talk about
Yeah.
mantises in mythology. But yeah, these so yeah, you would keep it as a pet. I mean, you're
Yeah.
probably these are like a wizard would have it as a pet. You know,
No, yeah,
to
exactly. Who
charge their
wants to keep one
magic.
of these things as a pet? Yeah, it's weird. I was actually reading that the people actually produce these things. Like they
Hmm.
make them reproduce within the enclosure themselves. And the female mantises, which is really gross, but actually this happens a lot in the animal
Hmm.
kingdom. When the females and the males mate, it takes a lot of energy out of the females. The females will actually devour the males at the
Hmm.
other end, during, or the beginning of the whole process of mating to get more energy so that they can lay the eggs. So, you're going in as a male, you think you're going to hook up with this chick, and nah, she's just going to eat your face off at the end of
Yeah.
it.
I
It's a
mean,
50-50 chance that it's
those
worth
are some pretty horny mantises if
it.
they're willing to
Honestly,
risk it, you know.
honestly, it's one of those things where it's like, are you sure that you really want to get it down today? Or,
Yeah,
I don't know.
you
It's
might.
a weird one.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's one of those. The mantis is like the Viking. It's a There's a
Yeah.
Viking culture to mantises, and
Yeah.
they just. I mean, you bite you say like, oh, like you got me pregnant. You've used up your usefulness. Now I'm gonna eat you. You know, it's
Yeah, peace. Have a good life. Like,
yeah.
you look pretty juicy. I kind of feel how you taste, you know?
Yeah, that's what a home life to be born into if you're their children, you know?
Honestly. And the devil's flowers mantis produces up to 10 to 50 nymphs, which is
Hmm.
the
Yeah.
little baby mantis. It takes approximately 50 days for them to hatch.
Wow, that's actually pretty long
Honestly, it
for the
is.
bug kingdom. I mean, it's a high yield, but that fifty
Yeah,
days.
50 days. Yeah, 50 days
That's
is a pretty long one.
hmm
And when they pop out, they come out in a light gray color.
hmm
And they think that they color like that so they can mimic ants.
mm.
They don't want to be seen, they don't want to be shown out, so the small little nymphs try to mimic an ant. They don't get
So
shot
why
out by
would
the
you,
predator.
but why ants though? I feel like ants are the lowest rung on the food chain.
Right?
Any animal sees
That's
an ant and says that's a free meal.
yeah, honestly,
Or
I don't
or
know.
may or I guess it's
It-
just the safety in numbers, right? You're going through and you're hiding amongst the other ants, and you know 50% of the ants are an anteater's coming, and you know 50% of the ants are getting taken, but he can't get them all.
yeah,
You know.
there you go. It's genius. It's actually a genius plan. They thought it out for years.
Yeah. Well, they'd have to because I guess how does this stuff evolve? You know, it's crazy to think
Yeah,
about.
like honestly, and like all of them splitting up because, like you said at the beginning of this, there's so many different types.
Hmm.
There's so many different types of how they look and how they breathe and how they attack and how they pounce on the enemies type of thing. So
Hmm.
it's amazing to think that they all started from one sort of animal and they split down a genus tree.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, and this, I mean, the 2 weeks that we've done this podcast, it's been an education just on what a genus is and a family is and
Yep,
a subspecies, and
honestly,
I'm still kind of trying to figure out, okay, this one goes into this one and this, we're still working it out here, but it's crazy when you see, okay, you think of the praying mantis, and you think, okay, you have an image in your mind of what it looks like, and what it is, and you think, okay, it's one bug, and then you get into it, and there's like thousands of different types of these things. It's crazy
honest,
it's crazy to
yep.
get into it, and so many of them are just we know it exists, but we do not know much about it.
That's the coolest part to me. That's
Yeah,
honestly the coolest part.
and I mean
Is there's
last week
so
when
much
we were
unknown.
yeah, well, last week when we were talking about the ones that were like the water beetle that they dug 10 meters into the ground and they found this new species,
Yeah,
is how do you know to dig 10 meters into the ground you're going to find a new species?
exactly,
So this stuff, all
exactly.
these things are just hiding there for us to discover.
Yeah,
You think space is the current frontier. You know, the bug world.
Yeah.
That's a place to
There's so
explore.
many different new ones.
Yeah.
Every day they discover some new type of bug. It doesn't mean
Mm-hmm.
it's a mantis, but some sort of bug is
Yeah.
getting discovered every day.
Mm-hmm.
It's unbelievable that we haven't discovered everything.
Yeah.
So much unknown.
Yeah, really, like it's nuts. And to look back at so think about mantises. So I found, so the mantis, the word mantis is Greek for one who divines, which can also be seen as a seer or a prophet. You know, so it's so there's this weird like religious and mythological significance of the mantis that is tied to, and it goes from a base level to, I mean, we call it a praying mantis. It's not Prey as in prey, which a lot of people think because it's a predator. It is praying mantis, Pray, because it's holding its hands like this, right? So there's a tie to Christianity there, but then beyond that, even the Greeks, who I guess like didn't really have, I mean, as I don't know that much, but I'm assuming like they didn't have this as a real concept. Like they had a divine significance to the mantis, which is really
unbelievable,
really interesting. Yeah,
I didn't know that. That's really cool. No.
Mm-hmm. So
the devil's flower. That's pretty much all, the most important facts to learn about the devil's mantis.
Mm-hmm. Let's take another look at it.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Honestly, the legs even have the fake flowers on it, and the back has it.
The detail on that, you know, the detail just, and it's crazy to think the one that, like, how it evolved, like, one just happened to come out looking like a leaf, and then it survived. Or some, I don't know much about evolution, you know, like, but I think that's the general gist of it, right? You know, that's just...
And it produced, and slowly but surely it continued until it got to the point where it looked like a dead leaf from behind.
Yeah, it's
absolutely
unbelievable.
Honestly.
Yeah. Now, the next one, the one that I researched, the Acanthrops from the Acanthropidae family. They come from Central America, and these ones are also very leaf-like. They're very similar to the devil's leaf. So let me just bring up a picture. So there we have it's called the dead leaf mantis, and it is. You can see these ones are males. So the males are very long, and they look like kind of a flat leaf. But look at, I mean, the picture on the right. That's an alien. You know,
honestly, I was gonna say that is not looking like a bug. That is a big looking thing.
Like, and its eyes are so weird from that side profile view. Its eyes are these pointy like ovals. You know,
does it have a horn on the eyes? Like,
the horn on the eyes. So the acanthrop comes from the Greek word I don't know how to pronounce some of these. So, but it translates to thorn eye. So it has these thorns. They're called tubercles on the eye. I don't know what I couldn't figure out what they do. But these guys, I mean, I don't have any pictures of a female up. I should have got one, because these guys are the poster children of sexual dimorphism, which is so the females are different looking than the males. So the females are they're flightless, and they're 2 times heavier than the males. So they like the devil's mantis, devil's leaf mantis. They have colors underneath their wings. So the wings the only purpose of the wings is to kind of flash, to scare away, as kind of a warning sign to back off. I'm not just some leaf, you know. So that's got to be useful. I mean, because if you're disguising as a leaf, I mean, if you're in the forests of Central America or South America, most animals that live there eat leaves, you know. So you need something to be like, I'm not a leaf, man. Get away from me. You see these, they have their cake and eat it too. They play the leaf when it's convenient, but the second it's inconvenient, they got the out. So it's really crazy how much thought or like went
Yeah.
into, or how much went into their evolution, which is amazing. And then the males, as they have these long wings, they can fly, and they look like flat dead leaves. Um, and now, just like the devil's mantis, there's a subspecies called falcata, which are very popular with as pets.
Oh
They're
yeah.
huge in the pet industry. But what's interesting is, I mean, the females, they live 6 months, so that's a pretty short window to have a
Yeah, that's
pet. I
not
mean,
long.
and I
Yeah.
was thinking that's almost too short to have as a pet. But then I thought of how many
Mhm.
goldfish I've killed. Um, and I think I had one goldfish that lasted 6 months, so I shouldn't be talking about what's a
No, I mean,
practical
it
pet or not.
happens, you know?
So and then and they lay, so 16 uthicas, or I think it's
Oh yeah.
uthicas, like egg sacs.
Uh,
They
the
lay
double load.
16 in their lifespan, so that's one every 8 days. So they're putting out new eggs every eight
Wow.
days each containing 25 to 35 eggs. So a little lower yield, but these hatch after 16 days. So that's probably
Oh
why they're
wow, so
such.
quick.
So you're getting, I mean, before you even the eggs hatch, you've already created a new batch of eggs. If you're doing it every 8 weeks,
Wow.
and then they're hatching every
Yeah,
16 weeks, so they're productive. So you could see
yeah, they
why.
are.
I mean,
Do it.
the pet industry, even though they have a short lifespan, it's pretty lucrative, I imagine, to sell
Yeah.
these as
Oh
pets.
yeah,
So you could
100%.
churn them out. And the nice thing is, most males survive the mating process, and not because the females don't try to
Oh,
eat them. It's because the
okay.
the males, for some reason, the species, they just understand what's going on, and they know when to leave the bedroom. You know.
They know when
So
to go.
yeah, so they know. Um, And then, so yeah, so you could just churn these out, and then,
Yeah.
but the thing is, most males survive, so they have to molt, so they molt 7 times in 2 months to get to their final form, adult form, and then once they've molted, so that's a 2 month process, and then after that, most males only live for an extra month, so it's a 3 month period where they like lifespan from hatching to
Really?
dying, and then on top of that they become an adult at 1 month, or like for one of those months. So it's really, I mean, if you're getting this as a pet, you want a female that's gonna live.
Yeah,
um
yeah, exactly. They go fast.
yeah, they go fast. So
Yeah.
um but yeah, so that's what I got for the acanthrops, the thorn
I
eye
have a question.
deadleaf mantis. Yeah.
So is that another stalking type of predator? Is that one of the ones that wait for the insects to come to them?
Yeah, it's the same
It
thing with.
looks like it would be,
Yeah,
right?
it's
Yeah.
it's the same thing with the those, they're disguised as a leaf to trick, because
Yeah.
when they're, it's not really as a camouflage from other predators, because if another predator is
Yeah.
coming, you're gonna flash your warning to try to scare them away, I imagine. Well, unless, I
That
mean,
makes sense.
maybe it's a 50-50. Some predators, but the leaf eating predator, the predators of the leaves, you want to let them know, you know.
Yeah.
That
Exactly.
you want to let them know you're not a
Just
leaf.
for truth, you know?
That's
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
like, especially, I mean, imagine if you're like I don't know, a monkey that eats leaves and whatever, and fruit and vegetables, and you take pride in being a vegetarian monkey, and then you
Yeah.
find out you're eating your salad, and you realize there's a leaf bug in there.
Yeah, there's an extra crunch.
There's an extra crunch,
Here you go.
and then
Yeah.
all of it, you've broken your vow to the veganists, you know.
Oh, that'd be awful.
It'd
You
be
know, I'm not
terrible.
no vegan, but I can feel it. Yeah, I can
Yeah,
feel it. You
that's
know
why.
that.
So really, the warning colors are there for the vegan monkeys.
Yeah.
So, so,
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes
yeah.
sense. You know, you can never be too scary.
All right.
So the next mantis that
Yep.
I found out was a thistle mantis, and you said the scientific name, so I'm gonna butcher it real bad. It's the leaf horse, and that's the genus of it, and then the
Uh-huh.
family is the Empusidae. Empusidae. You're close enough. But this is a beautiful mantis. Honestly, it's a beautiful mantis. I won't lie. Out of all the mantises I've seen, I chose this one because I thought there was the most colorful one. It looked pretty. It is one of the mantises that found in North America. and in the Canary Island. Look at that thing. Just
Yeah.
look at that thing. I'm
That
gonna spit some facts, but it's a gorgeous looking mantis.
yeah. Those colors, the
Yeah,
blue and the orange, the
yeah,
turquoise and the
yeah,
brown,
it's
you know, it's
gorgeous,
just
right?
crazy. And look at the stripes on its eyes. That's
Honestly,
nuts.
it is detailed. It is a
Mm-hmm.
detailed, very, very gorgeous looking man. And this is one that can fly.
Mm-hmm.
Both female and male can fly. They're found in the North Africa and the Canary Islands.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful, honestly, I love that. That's honestly one of my favorite looking
Yeah.
mantis.
I think that
And
is we should have an award for the most beautiful bug, or like have a working thing like most beautiful bug. Um,
oh, that's it.
that is
Honestly,
it.
none of the
And
beetles are
when
nice.
we add
Zero.
next week when we add the mantis to the collection, I think that is the picture. Yeah, right there. We got the water
Here's-
beetle added to the collection, so we'll add that one because that is just beautiful.
Oh, I love that thing.
Hmm.
Honestly, it's a great. But they don't know why it became so colorful because it's
Hmm.
not all mantises are colorful.
Hmm.
Usually they want to be hidden. They want to be small. They're not a big creature. And a lot
Hmm.
of these predators will attack them and get them fast.
Hmm.
So they have shown videos of them splashing themselves on the belly and the underside. The underside is much more colorful
Hmm.
than the back itself,
Hmm.
and it's to fend off predators like most mantises. They were I'm all
Hmm.
big and scary type of deal when they
Yeah.
see a big mantis, and these guys are pretty small. So they come to 5 to 6 centimeters, very not that big.
Hmm.
The males are usually a bit smaller than the females, so the females are a bit larger.
Hmm.
Not to the point of their weight difference or anything like that. You just tell the male are much thinner,
Hmm.
and they have a feathered antenna, just like the devil flower.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
there is cues and that you can tell the difference between them. This is also one of the ones where the females will completely destroy the male after mating.
Yeah.
They're not the brightest, they just go in there and they're
They go.
done. So
Yeah,
they got what they need.
it's just a big mystery in the mantis community. It's why do all these men keep disappearing? Because if they had
Exactly.
figured it out, the species would die.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
there'd be no more babies being made. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
man.
This is also mantis that they love to keep. I love to keep as pets. Personally, I would love to keep this one as a pet compared to the other ones that we found
Hmm.
because again, it's gorgeous. This
Yeah.
is a gorgeous mantis. It's beautiful. And this one lasts around 6 months to a year, depending on the environment that it's living in. It wants to be to 90 degrees Fahrenheit again, or else again it won't last as long as you want it to last.
Hmm.
So it's oh sorry I said 6. It's 4 to 8 months.
48 months.
4 to 8.
That's still pretty
Oh,
reasonable. Like 8 months
oh,
is a pretty good for keeping a
yeah,
bug. Um.
yeah, exactly. Right. Especially a 4 centimeter or 6 centimeter bug. That thing's pretty small.
Yeah.
It's not like that big. So you would expect it not to last as long
Hmm.
as say the devil's flower.
Hmm.
But these guys will eat insects. They're stalking hunters. They will not move whatsoever. They'll sit on a tree for pretty much the entire day or a leaf, whatever they
Hmm.
can blend into. Wait for the bugs to fly by to snatch them up. They will not eat frozen or dead animals. They will only go for live insects.
Hmm.
So they're known as not to be aggressive. So you can actually pick them up. These guys will not attack you if you're bigger than them. They're scared. They're
Yeah.
scared. You can pick these guys up. No worries. No drama.
Yeah, the
But
fact that you have to qualify that when we're talking about mantises,
yeah,
says a lot about mantises if they're gonna attack
yeah,
you. You know, these
yeah. There's no
things.
drama when it comes to this mantis.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, they'll a lot of mantises jump at you. You know,
Yep,
try to take
they
you with
will.
no fear.
Devil's flower. It's as although that it is a pet, it will attack.
Hmm.
It will jump at you. It will bite at you with its giant claws. I don't know if we have a good picture of the claws of a mantis, but they're mean looking.
Yeah, we
To
got.
grasp onto them, they're
Mhm. Yeah, let's do a
yeah,
quick sneak peek of. I mean, this is the Chinese mantis, which we're going to talk about in a
yeah.
bit. But you could see the claws there, like those. What do
They're
they got? Like
mean.
spikes on them?
Yeah, they got spikes and they're serrated. So like when they pinch into them, when the animal gets rid of it or
Hmm.
gets released, quote unquote, it will destroy most of the flesh that it got into. And they're pointed backwards, so it's even harder for the animal when it gets
Yeah,
dropped in to leave.
man.
So they're meant to just completely grab it, and they will eat them alive.
Hmm.
They will eat that animal alive. They go head to booty.
Yeah.
They,
At least they go head first.
that's
That's
true.
pretty generous.
That is pretty generous. I won't lie, but it is. I don't know. It's one of those things where ooh,
Oh yeah,
oh,
the
online if it's
mantises. Man,
not.
if they were the size, imagine if they were the size of like a small dog, like a Chihuahua size.
Oh,
They
oh, I
one
would.
could they could take you down.
Oh,
They
100%.
could
They
take
were
you down.
keeping up, no problem. No
Like
problem. It would hurt. It would hurt.
grab onto your thigh and just rip off the flesh. Like you just get a chunk
That's it.
out of your calf. You
Yeah,
know.
it would be horrendous. I saw a video of it taking out a lizard. The poor lizard was just. It was honestly the lizard was bigger than it, and the
Mm,
mantis just grabbed onto its back and then pulled it a little bit, and that was it. The lizard was just done.
yeah.
It's really mucking up the lizard's neck.
It's
Yeah, but the
brutal.
crystal mantis, like I said, beautiful. Probably
Hmm.
one of the best mantises that I've seen.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
Yeah. Let's take
Oh,
one last look at that.
look at that.
Beautiful.
The eyes, you're right. You commented on the eyes. The eyes to me are the best part.
Yeah.
Striped looking eyes.
And that's such
Beautiful.
a cool color combination. It's like a light green with
Yep.
with like a burgundy red,
Yeah.
like a light burgundy
Orange.
or something. It's beautiful.
I won't lie. It doesn't blend in very much, but
Yeah, no, it definitely.
I'm not sure what it's trying to blend in.
Yeah,
But it's a gorgeous, gorgeous looking mantis.
yeah, man, that's beautiful. Now, the next
Yeah.
one I got, it's not exactly a bug praying mantis, but it's my next two are very much things inspired by the praying mantis. So it's called Shandong praying mantis, and it's a form of Kung Fu. All right. So
Ooh.
to give you a basic idea, so we got this right here. So that's the stance, right? You got the leg of a mantis, and then the guy is mirroring it, right? So
Yeah.
it's all about waiting your opponent out, like waiting, being patient, and observing, just being still and observing and watching like the mistakes the guy's making, targeting weak spots, and
Yeah.
really because the mantis is something very strong head on and
Yeah.
very weak on the sides. So the whole point of the fighting style is to focus all your defenses at the center and keep your enemy always in front of you, right? So and it's all about quick movements, often in succession of each other, targeting weak spots, going for not going for the big knockouts, targeting like wearing down your opponent with quick strikes. So this has a cool origin story, right? So we're gonna take you back to the Song Dynasty in the
Wow.
1200s, right? So this guy Abbot Fu Yu invites Wang Lang and 17 kung fu masters to improve the martial arts of this place called Shaolin or Shaolin. And he gets it's basically a conference of all the kung fu masters, and he's learning all this stuff from these people, and he records everything down in this book called the Mishu, which is means secret hands, and it was this guideline for all the ways you could fight kung fu, right? So then this guy Wang Lang allegedly absorbed all this kung fu knowledge. So all this, the 17 other guys in the room, he just absorbed all their kung fu knowledge and became this kung fu master, right? Now,
Okay.
one of the people, so this guy named Wang Long, not to be confused with Wang Lang, was one of the 17 masters, and he had this form called Tong Long, which is the praying
Wow.
mantis form. Are you following me?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little lost, but I think I'm following.
And then there's an alternative story of how praying mantis form came to be, and that tells of this guy, the same guy, Wang Lang. Um, he loses a Li Tai contest to this other guy, and he's leaving kind of the arena, and he sees a praying mantis attacking the wheels of oncoming carts. So he sees this little bug just jumping at the wheels and stuff without fear. These carts are moving through, and this little bug is just getting like poking at the wheels and stuff. And because of that, he had a revelation, and then Mantis Fist was born. So this is the kung fu history. And this is all
Look at
fact.
that little bug. Look at
Yeah,
that little bug.
this little
He's
bug.
like, I would not be like that.
Yeah. All right. So now this gentleman is displaying the praying mantis form of kung fu. So quick strikes. You got the
Yeah.
hands. There's a lot of the attacks are based off of three hands going out, but quick and always moving forward, like keeping the focus on right in front of you.
Back's always
Yeah,
like move. That's wow.
yeah. So that is the martial art form, like the form of kung fu inspired by the praying mantis.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah. So that
That's
is
actually really cool.
yeah,
That's a
and then
really cool.
this is a picture of all those, or not all 17 of those, but that was a picture of that meeting with all those people that
Wow.
that
Those documents.
mantis form came out of. Yeah, the documents.
That's unbelievable. That's so cool.
Yeah. So
I don't know how effective the fighting style is,
yeah,
right? It's effective?
I've
Like I don't
I mean it's lasted almost 1,000
that's
years.
true.
So
You're right. That is
it's
true. I
got to
gotta
be
give it some
good.
credit.
It's got to be good for something, you know.
Yeah.
But
Oh, that's really cool though. That the video of him actually doing the kung fu was dope. That
yeah.
was really cool.
Yeah,
Gosh.
so it's very quick and very smooth. You
Yeah.
know, and you can
Very,
see,
very.
I mean, if we jump to this back to this video, I mean, you can see the smoothness of everything.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
reflected into the bug and into the martial art. Like there definitely, if you're in like a fighter, praying mantis is not a bad insect to emulate, you know.
Oh yeah.
And they
That
even
would actually be good.
and there's even, I mean, the little nod to the praying mantis form in Kung Fu Panda with the character
I was
Mantis,
gonna say,
right?
yeah.
So
That's actually really good. Yeah.
so
That's unbelievable though.
yeah.
I never even thought about that.
Hmm.
That's really cool.
Yeah. All right, so
Well, you-
keeping on the region of China. The next one you got, what is it?
Ooh, the Chinese mantis. This is, although it is originated from
Hmm.
Asia, sorry, not Asia, but it is introduced to North America. It's all over the place.
Hmm.
So it is now all over North America. You can find it pretty much everywhere. It is
Yeah,
a brown
yeah,
with
so these are the
brown
ones
wings.
I keep seeing, like I see every once in a while, right?
Yeah, these are the ones that you will see. These are the
Hmm.
ones that you can see, and now you can actually pick them up. They're not that bad. They
Hmm.
are pretty aggressive. They can be aggressive. They're not known to harm humans or anything like that. They're still pretty small creatures,
Hmm.
just reaching over 11 centimeters. Sorry, but there are predators. They're still predators that they have. Like we said, the claws on them are menacing.
Hmm.
They love to eat anything that flies or walks by them. Ants, bugs. Um, well, bugs, yeah, flies, anything really that they can grip their paws around,
Hmm.
claws around. Yeah, but they are a very, very well-known species. Is the best way to
Hmm.
describe it. They were introduced to Canada, well, not Canada, sorry, North America in 1876, the last document, and that was in Manhattan. And
Hmm.
then from there, they just exploded. Is the best way to put it.
Hmm.
They are, yeah, the lion weight predators. They will stand motionless for hours on end until they can find something that will come by to get
Hmm.
it. These mantises live up to about a year, and they were hatched in the spring, spend the rest of the season growing, eating, growing, molting, and they
Hmm.
molt, I think, four times in total. And
Wow.
then when they lay the eggs, it's in late summer,
Hmm.
and then they die when it freezes. So when winter comes, they will die. Eggs will go over the winter in the egg cases and hatch in the spring, and then rinse and repeat.
Hmm.
They will just continue and continue to go. And these guys do have wings on them, not known to fly. The males will fly, but the
Hmm.
females will not. They do have wings. Like I said, they're not aggressive.
Hmm.
There's ones you can pick up. They are known to be pets. These are much easier to keep as pets because
Hmm.
they're known all over North America. So we're not in hot like Africa. We're not in Tanzania where they need to have heat.
Yeah, so there's no, because I mean, even with the leaf bug that I was looking up, it was very clear. Keep it at this sweet spot, and if
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
take it down, if you take it up, it's not
Yeah.
gonna have a long life. You know, it's very
Yeah.
particular. So yeah, I guess these ones. I mean,
They're
China's
good.
to think of where it came from. I mean, China is a pretty diverse climate, like diverse place with a lot of different weather patterns and stuff like that. I don't know if that it's a big
Yeah.
it's a big
Yeah.
country, right?
Yeah.
So I think
Exactly.
that just helps it, you know, like survive in all around the world, you know.
Yeah.
And
From what I found, the key temperature is 25
mhm,
degrees Fahrenheit. It can't be cold. It can be hot, but it cannot be cold because the
mhm,
cold will over the lifespan if not killed.
mhm. Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah.
it's very important to keep these guys at a constant temperature. And I found, which is one of the only ones that I found, is that they don't actually prey on each other. So these mantises, if they find another little Chinese mantis that they're like, ooh, that looks good, it doesn't mean maiden. It just means that they're gonna walk around and they see another mantis, they will prey on it.
Mhm,
They will eat them. So you're not supposed to keep these guys in the same cage. They're like the Chinese fighting fish. You can't put them in the same bowl because
mhm.
they'll fight to death. Same with these guys. They'll fight to death. Only
Man,
one will survive.
it's wild.
Yeah.
Anytime you encounter an animal that will feed on its own species, it's just it's bizarre. It's you
Yeah,
know it's
honestly. Very, very weird to think.
mhm,
It's just, I don't know. Like, again, like, well, I guess you can see, like, humans, we go to war, blah, 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 but
yeah,
it's not like we're eating other humans,
yeah,
right? We're trying to solve or resolve something.
mhm,
But these guys, yeah, they're very fierce. They're ferocious, is as the best word to put it, as
mhm,
all the words that I found online is ferocious predators.
mhm.
So they're great. Honestly, they're great. They're very common. Like I said, that you've seen them, and yeah, they're pretty cool ass mantises. Not as cool as the thistle mantis. They're not
Mhm.
that pretty,
Yeah,
brown with a little bit of green, but they are very gorgeous still mantis.
yeah, they are. I mean, let's pull up the picture again. It's a simple beauty. You know what I mean? It's just a straightforward mantis,
Yeah,
and it's I love the heads. It's just such
yeah.
a
Honestly,
alien, and the eyes, they're not round, they're not oval, they're kind of pointy almost. Like the eyes just freak me out and fascinate me at the
yeah.
same time. You know.
And the mantises are known to have great, great, great eyesight. They don't
Mm,
need to move their head that much because they almost have a full 360-degree of vision behind them and in front of them.
wow. That's
Yeah,
amazing. Now, see, I imagine if mantises are hunting other mantises, you know, and you have
yeah.
like you're going after prey that has 360 vision and can move pretty similar. I mean, the chases must go on for a long time to catch a
Right? It must be one of those people that, they do the lifts in the morning, they do the push-ups in the
yeah.
morning, the guy wins type.
You gotta work out, or else another mantis
Exactly.
is gonna get you.
Yeah, because it's not like the age could be that different because they only last about a
Yeah,
year. It's
that's a
seasonal,
great
right?
point. Yeah, then,
Uh,
yeah,
So whoever just pumps the most iron in the morning is going to win
yeah,
that fight. Or maybe they
man.
get lucky or something, you know?
Yeah,
But
man, you can't trust anybody in the mantis community.
yeah,
Can't trust your.
exactly.
I mean, you can't even trust
And
your missus. You know, when
yeah,
you're having a
yeah,
romantic
honestly,
moment. You know, so
yeah, you don't know if bite your head off the next minute. You never know.
yeah.
Also, same thing with these mantises. I think most mantises within the genus
Mm,
eat each other's females to males. The females are much more dominant than
mm,
the males are. Yeah,
yeah, man, that's
cool.
cool creature, and that I mean that's one. And wherever you're listening, pretty much you can go outside and find one of these,
Yeah,
which is cool.
honestly.
So and I mean, hey, as that website says, you will be blessed with spiritual energy if you do so. So you know,
Why not try then?
yeah, why
Huh?
not try? Now, speaking of things you can try, we got a word from our sponsor. We're presented by 11th-island.com. So we got a
That's
little
it.
advertisement. So let's roll it.
Welcome to the 11th Island.
Think you can't travel because of COVID-19? Think again, because pandemic or not, you're always welcome here on the sandy beaches of the 11th Island.
Here are some of the things you'll experience at 11th-island.com.
swim over to our Island Reads. New blogs every day.
Catch up on all your sports news with Chris and I over at Big Game Talk on YouTube or wherever you find your podcasts.
Join me and Mike as we learn about bugs.
Roberto! We have plenty more to offer and new stuff coming all the time, so make sure to check out our website for all the details.
Start your vacation today by typing in 11th-island.com. That's 11th-island.com. See you there, castaways.
All right, and we are back.
That was great.
All right, yeah, go check out 11thisland.com to stay up to date on Pest Patrol and read some blogs. Mike's gonna get blogging soon. So he tells us.
Yeah, slowly but surely, I promise. You know?
Slowly but surely.
Holidays coming around finally,
so yeah.
Hopefully everything goes out.
So to wrap up our discussion about mantises, all right, we're gonna discuss the mantis in mythology. Now, we've hinted at it earlier in the show with just the significance of the praying mantis in many cultures in terms of a divine. I mean, the Greeks called it like divinely blessed, or a seer or a prophet. You know, things to get wisdom, like the wisdom of the gods from. Right. So the Greeks, they thought mantises to have the ability to show lost travelers the way home. So if you're lost somewhere and you see a mantis, wherever it's facing is the direction you have to go.
Oh.
That's
pretty cool.
Which is pretty cool. Yeah. I mean,
I wonder if it works. But that's
I
cool.
don't know. Well, the idea of it, I mean, they are very pointy creatures. You know,
you're right. No, they are very, and they don't move much. So the fact that you find one, they're going to be looking in one direction.
Yeah, that's true. I guess they're still and they're holding their hands like this. So it's really like a hand pointing. You know.
Yeah, just point. Yeah, you're right. Honestly,
so it's crazy how that kind of works its way into the mythology and the belief systems and the cultures. And then because of that, there was this divine, and then after that association, there was this divine association attached to them, given that they're prophets. They point the way, not just literally in terms of which way you actually need to go, but which way is everybody headed as a society, as a, seeing the future, pointing the way to where you need to go. And I mean, all the way back to 9th century BC. So in Nineveh, they had this guide that they found that was a guide to grasshoppers. So mantises were attached to grasshoppers back then, and they called mantises necromancer. Like the word used to describe mantises is necromancer and soothsayer. Okay. So a soothsayer is a prophet with like divine message, and a necromancer is a being or someone that can speak to the dead, right? So there's all this weird stuff going on that's attached to the mantises.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's crazy, and I mean, this is a creature that goes back to way back in human history. It's all over the world, and also, I mean, there's prehistoric, they're finding prehistoric ones in mantises. Like these things have been around, and they've been around in the culture too. It's crazy to see. And then the coolest example of mantises in mythology comes from it's pronounced Ham people. It's pronounced. There's a weird character that I don't know, and then it's XAM. So it's pronounced Ham somewhat, and it's the Ham people of southern Africa, and they had this. So they had this trickster shape-shifting god called Kagan, who was the one that created the universe, right, and created the earth and all this stuff. And he took many forms. So he was a bull eland, which is basically like a type of antelope. He appeared as lice. He appeared as a snake. He appeared as a caterpillar. But his main form was that of a praying mantis. So this guy is constantly... Now, let me ask you a question. What do these four animals have in common?
Oh no, a praying mantis? looks like a little fly, a porcupine, and I have no idea what that top right was.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
I
the
don't know.
top right is a marmot, which is kind of like a squirrel-like marsupial thing. So the mantis, so that is our friend Kagan, the shape-shifting trickster god. And then we
Yeah,
have uh, Cody, his wife, the marmot, the on the top right. Then we
yeah.
have the bees. Cody is the mother of the bees, and
Okay.
then the porcupine is their adopted daughter.
Oh.
So that's the
Okay.
family.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
I'm
that's
not,
the
not here to
family.
judge. That's a weird dynamic. Weird dynamic.
Yeah. So now a fun story about this mantis, Kagan. So he was
Yeah.
creating all these animals, right? So he created all the and the Han people were very much in tune with the animal world. So that was very important to them, and all their mythologies. How did this animal come to be, and how did this animal come to be, and all these things. So so the praying mantis Kagan creates the eland, which is a gazelle, and he loves
Yeah.
this land, and he says, I love this thing, it's sick, it's one of my best creations, I'm gonna go hide it on the side of this cliff. And then his sons, who I don't know what species his sons are. I mean, the bees, it's a complicated family. So his
Yeah.
sons are
Of course.
going out into the wilderness, and they're chilling, and they see the eland, and they see, wow, that's a cool animal, I'm sure it would taste good. So they take out their bows, and they hunt it and kill it and bring it back, and they bring it back to their praying mantis father, and they're like, hey, look at this, what we just hunt. Let's have some dinner. And Kagan's just so distressed. He's so like angry at them. He's like, you idiots.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, I'm gonna fix this. So then he gets a big pot, and he wrings out the antelope's, the eland's blood, and puts it in the pot, and he's stirring it around, and then some gets on the floor, and then a bunch of snakes, like the blood turns into snakes, and then boom, now snakes are a thing, right? And then he's like, no, that's not good. So stir it a little bit more. So he stirs a little bit more, and then some blood spills out, and it becomes another type of gazelle. And he said, no, like that's a gazelle, but or an an antelope, or is it a gazelle, or are they the same thing? I don't even know, but it's
I know they
so
look
it's
the same. But
so then it becomes an antelope, and he says,
yeah.
well, that's okay. It's kind of what I want, but not exactly what I want. So he takes the heart of the dead eland and puts it in, mixes it. That's the magic formula, and then he pours it out on the ground, and a herd of them come out. And
Yeah.
the eland, to the Han people, they knew it as something very wild and just like they're just nuts animals. They just go crazy all the time. And the reason for it is because they were hunted before they were ready to be hunted. So then they're crazy, and now it was one of the main sources of food. So Kagan, through like his sons hunting them, now like made a bunch of them so that his people, who were the Han people,
Yeah.
could hunt them and eat them. So they became one of the primary parts of the Han diet.
Wow.
So and that's all praying mantis, and that
Yeah.
is, I mean, you got Southern Africa, you have
Yeah.
China, which we touched on with the Kung Fu. You have the
Yeah.
Greeks
Yeah.
in the eastern part of the West, and then you have the Ninevites in the Middle East. And then now, I mean, North America, we have praying mantis in North America. Like this is an international phenomenon, both in practical being a bug and also cultural significance.
Yeah. That's unbelievable. That's like the backstory of the mantis. That every different nation that there is, there's always a significant reason for the mantis.
For the mantis,
That's
yeah.
really
It's
yeah.
it's crazy to think about. I mean, this bug that, I mean, bugs are small and significant, and the crazy thing too is, I mean, you think about the Greeks, and you think about the Egyptians, and you think about a
Yeah.
lot of the cultures that have really famous mythology, and yes, there are
Yeah.
animal figures, but the animal figures are always like the bull and the lion and these big
Yeah.
animals.
Something that
But the Han people not only made the praying mantis a god, but made it the highest deity, like the deity that actually created everything, you know.
That's unbelievable.
Which is really interesting. And they've just captivated, like, and there's something, I mean, let me pull up there's something otherworldly about these bugs, you know.
Honestly.
Where, I mean, if you're somebody living back in the day, you see that for the first time, that's not from this earth, you know.
No way in hell.
That is not. And even today, I look at it and I say that's not from this earth, you know.
Horned octopus, like this, like I don't know what made that or how evolution decided to pop that out, but it's just like it's not. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, man. And they're just, and it's like if you go down into the mantis culture, like the ruthless nature of being a mantis, combined with just this patient, like you think about an animal that literally, like, the female will bite the male's head off, right? Yeah. After mating, and you think, okay, that's an animal that's very out of control, just nuts, like a crocodile, like very robust, and this thing will just sit on a tree and be still all day, you know,
and survive.
You know, it's man,
it's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, the biggest point that you pointed out there was the direction. Next time I see a mantis, I think I'm just gonna have to follow it. Whatever way that it's pointed, I'll end up somewhere, but at least I know in my heart that it's pointing me the right way.
Yeah, just when you're driving down the highway and you see a mantis on the side of the highway pointing sideways.
Yeah, you have to take that right turn. That's it. You just shoot and see where it takes me. It's not a lie.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
my true home is feet up forest right there.
Yeah, the true home. You know, the mantis knew. You know, it was the way of the mantis that you ended up in that ditch. You know.
Yeah, when the tow truck driver comes over, he's like, "What the hell happened?" He's like, "Don't worry about it. I saw a mantis, and he wanted me to be here."
Yeah. Dude, I do as the mantis tells me.
Trying to explain that to insurance, you know?
You have a little jar and you have your mantis and you're holding it out, and whatever way he points, you turn. It's your compass.
Yeah. You're trying to talk to someone as you're turning around because the mantis is turning. And you're like, wait a minute, one sec.
Yeah. So
that's unbelievable. There's so many interesting facts about the mantis that I didn't know about.
Yeah, and
it's such a powerful creature.
Yeah, it's just captivating, you know, to think about this.
Yeah, honestly.
This crazy mantis, and I can't wait to add the thorny. Let's look at the thorny one more time. Let me see if I can find it. Or the thistle. Sorry, the thistle. We're gonna add that to our collection. Put it in the bank.
Look at that beauty.
I mean,
that's it. Look at that beauty.
Yeah, it looks a lot nicer. Oh, which way? Than the that one up there, the diving beetle. Yeah.
Yeah, the little water bug right there.
That ugly one.
Yuck.
But yeah,
that was not a pretty looking bug.
Yeah.
Great. Learning about the mantis. That was so sick. Learning the history about it. Learning about some interesting facts. That was really cool.
Yeah, and I hope you all enjoyed at home learning about the praying mantis. If you have a bug suggestion for what bug we should do next, leave it in the YouTube comments down below. We'd love to hear from you. If you have any more mantis facts, you know where to put them. You know, so we'd love to hear from you. Hopefully, you leave a like, subscribe for more bugs, and anything else to say, Mike?
Oh, and make sure you check out 11th Island, 11th-island.com. You gotta keep up with all the info, and make sure you subscribe for more. That's it. I hope everyone has a great day and a great holiday.
All right, let's dance our way out.